Welcome to Read in Minutes. Here's a short summary of the book, The Selfish Gene, by Richard Dawkins. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's get started. In The Selfish Gene, renowned biologist Richard Dawkins explores the concept of evolution from a gene-centered perspective. Published in 1976, this groundbreaking book revolutionized our understanding of evolution, genetics, and the fundamental principles that drive life on Earth. Dawkins introduces the idea that genes, rather than organisms, are the primary units of selection in evolution. This summary will delve into the key themes, arguments, and implications presented in the book. Dawkins begins by challenging the conventional view of evolution, which often focuses on individual organisms and their survival. Instead, he proposes that genes are the driving force behind evolution. Genes are the units of heredity that carry information from one generation to the next. According to Dawkins, genes have one ultimate goal: to ensure their own survival and reproduction. This concept forms the basis of his theory of the selfish gene. The term selfish gene does not imply that genes have consciousness or intentions. Rather, it describes the behavior of genes in influencing the traits of organisms that carry them. Genes act in their own self-interest by maximizing their chances of being passed on to future generations. This can occur through various means, such as promoting altruistic behavior in organisms that share the same genes or fostering reproductive success. Dawkins emphasizes the role of natural selection in shaping the gene pool of a population. Natural selection occurs when certain traits increase an organism's chances of survival and reproduction, leading to those traits becoming more prevalent in subsequent generations. Genes that confer advantages, such as traits that enhance survival or reproductive success, are more likely to spread throughout the population. In addition to influencing the traits of individual organisms, genes can also shape the environment in which those organisms live. Dawkins introduces the concept of the extended phenotype, which refers to the effects of genes beyond the physical boundaries of an organism's body. These effects can include alterations to the environment or behaviors of other organisms. By exerting influence beyond the individual, genes further their own interests and increase their chances of replication. One of the most intriguing aspects of Dawkins's theory is its explanation for altruistic behavior. Altruism, or selfless concern for the welfare of others, appears to contradict the notion of selfish genes. However, Dawkins argues that altruistic behavior can still benefit genes if it increases the likelihood of survival and reproduction for individuals who share those genes. This concept, known as kin selection, suggests that organisms may act altruistically towards relatives who share a proportion of their genes. Dawkins introduces the concept of evolutionary stable strategies, ESS, which are behaviors that persist in a population because they are resistant to invasion by alternative strategies. ESS ensures that certain behaviors, such as cooperation or competition, remain stable over time. These strategies are shaped by the interaction between genes and the environment, with successful strategies becoming more prevalent through natural selection. Dawkins distinguishes between two concepts: replicators and vehicles. Replicators are entities that produce copies of themselves, such as genes. Vehicles, on the other hand, are the carriers or vessels that transport replicators. In the case of biological organisms, vehicles are bodies that house and transmit genes. By understanding this distinction, Dawkins clarifies how genes drive the evolutionary process, while organisms serve as vehicles for their propagation. Expanding on the concept of replicators, Dawkins introduces the idea of memes as units of cultural evolution. Memes are ideas, behaviors, or cultural phenomena that spread from person to person through imitation. Like genes, memes compete for replication and can influence human behavior and culture. Dawkins suggests that the spread of memes follows similar principles to genetic evolution, with successful memes becoming widespread in a population. The Selfish Gene has sparked considerable debate and controversy since its publication. Critics have raised concerns about its reductionist view of evolution and its implications for human behavior. Some argue that it promotes a selfish or overly deterministic view of human nature, overlooking the role of cooperation, empathy, and cultural influences. However, Dawkins maintains that understanding the gene's eye view of evolution provides valuable insights into the underlying mechanisms of life. By recognizing the central role of genes in driving evolution, we can better understand the diversity of life forms and the complex interactions between organisms and their environments. Conclusion. In The Selfish Gene, Richard Dawkins presents a compelling argument for the gene-centered view of evolution. By emphasizing the role of genes as replicators and the driving force behind natural selection, Dawkins offers a fresh perspective on the mechanisms of evolution. While controversial at times, his ideas have reshaped our understanding of genetics, evolution, and the fundamental processes that shape life on Earth. The Selfish Gene remains a seminal work in the field of biology, challenging readers to rethink their assumptions about the nature of life and the origins of diversity.